Hi trader, welcome to the weekly Forex video. This time taking a look at the euro dollar, which is at critical resistance, and the dollar yen bullish wave 3 momentum in my opinion. First of all though, be aware that this video is shown to a global audience but may not be suitable for everyone. Please visit admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact the appropriate entity to find out if it is suitable for you. Also please note that trading for exchange or global financial markets is considered high risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. By continuing watching this video, you agree with this disclaimer and you are aware of the risk involved with trading. Let's kick off the video with the euro dollar weekly chart. You can see price has reached a pretty high level of resistance. We've got a moving average, we've got a trend line coming in, and we have tops on the left here, of course, indicated by these trend lines as well. So you got definitely serious resistance going on, and you can see why probably this is going to be a very important decision zone. If price is going to break through this level, this zone, we might see a reversal on the euro dollar. In fact, if price does turn to the downside here, then we might see actually a continuation of the downtrend that of course has already been in effect for a while, or a few years ago. In fact, we've been in consolidation ever since. So important level. Last 2 weeks, however, have been bearish candles, big wick at the top. So from my perspective, either this is a reversal or maybe at least a retracement territory to retest 110, perhaps even 107.50 down in here. So those are, for me, potential trades that I'm looking at. I think that a downside here is more likely. But if price does break through 113 this week or next week, of course that does change the perspectives, and there could be some continuation breakout to, let's say, 115 to test that round psychological level as well. Now let's take a look at the daily chart. You can see that price is struggling in this zone. So what I would like to see is a break of this support trend line for a downside continuation. At this moment, I think that is the most likely scenario, that sometime this week price will push through this support trend line and make the downside fall and test S3, perhaps S2. And I would be looking for either a 4-hour or daily candle to break through that support trend line. At this moment, price is at the mid pivot, the weekly pivot point, which could be a resistance spot in itself. If that doesn't hold, then the R1 perhaps, and if that doesn't hold, then there could be that breakout to the upside from R1 to R3. All right, so that's the bullish breakout I'm looking for. The bearish breakout is basically below the trend line in S1 down to S3, and the pivot point and R1 are actually resistance spots for potential turnarounds. So that's my zone or map that I'm looking at this moment. 4-hour chart, you can see price is responding to the weekly pivot point as we speak. So I think that this could be an interesting candlestick pattern. You can see bearish, small candle, inside candle, then bearish again. The number of candles after this low has been 9. So I think that price might consolidate today on Monday, might make some kind of sideways move like this. And then it depends. Will the bull flag potentially break to the upside, or will it start to break below this support level and start to break to the downside? What I would do is put a fib from here to here, like this, and tomorrow morning I would be taking a look at how price, I would expect price to go like this, but let's see. If it stays above the 38.2 fib today, then I would either want to see a break below the 38.50 zone, something of a momentum come into the market, bear flag, and then a continuation like this. Or if there is a bull flag like this, I would like to see a break above the bull flag for a move up to the R1. And that could, of course, again be a bouncing spot back down. So those are options. Keeping an eye on the 38.2 fib. If that breaks, there's a good chance of a downside. Alternatively, of course, always keep an eye, if price does move higher, to keep an eye on this fib too. All right, because even the 61, 78, 88.6 fib all could be resistance as well. We'll be keeping an eye on the euro dollar and the other pairs, of course, on Tuesday and Wednesday. Together with Nenet, we have many live trading sessions. Nenet also has a session recap with setups for this week, swing setups, and intra-day and intra-week. Today on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, other live trading webinars, and Thursday we have an educational session on Bill Williams' system. So hope to see you in one or all of these webinars. Regarding the pound USD, the cable price is at the moment more or less either making a wave 1, 2, or an ABC, and again wave 1, 2, or this is a classical ABC. That's something that still remains to be seen. For the moment, though, price has built a pretty decent correction, in fact, and that correction is leaning towards a bullish, I would say, breakout. But keeping an eye, of course, on all these trend lines and seeing what the breakout direction will be. This would be the bottom trend line, so break below the pivot, and this trend line might see the breakout to the S1 and then down to the S2. Alternatively, if price manages to break above the Keltner and the long-term moving average and the R1, there's a space up to R2, that could be resistance, and then if that were to break above R2 to R3, but the R2 could also equally be a turning spot back down. So I'm not a big fan of the pound dollar at this particular moment, but I do think that there could be some interesting trades this week. But I would like to see price at least break below the pivot or above the R1 before I would be trading that. Keeping an eye on 4-hour and 1-hour candles to see how that responds to those levels. And let's see if there's some interesting breakouts or reversal trades. The minus 61.8 and the R2 at 129.30, that could be a very sweet bouncing spot. But who knows? Maybe in the meantime, there could be even a breakout trade to that. Once again, if the 4-hour world shows a good breakout candle above the Keltner like this, then we might see a bit of a correction, but then a continuation like this. Last but not least, the dollar-yen weekly chart, engulfing twin, bullish close, pretty significant candle, especially if you look at it from a daily chart. We'll do it in a second, but from a weekly perspective, you can see that price is basically showing the potential for upside now. We had, of course, upside here, and price made a correction. Now, I'm still expecting actually that correction to widen, perhaps something like this. That is possible, to go even deeper, to test the bottom like this. But for the moment, with this engulfing twin bouncing off this bottom, I think we can expect some bullishness to retest the Keltner and the resistance. All right. So if you're wondering, by the way, where you can get the Admiral Keltner indicator, it's part of the MetaTrader 4 Supreme edition, which is available on admiralmarkets.com. So I'm expecting to bounce, and you can see on the daily chart that price has broken through resistance as well. Let me make that a more intuitively resistance color of orange. And you can see price breaking through that with a good daily candle. Bit of an indecision candle on Friday, but that probably is not too serious considering the fact that Friday is the last day of the week. So from that perspective, as long as price stays above the weekly pivot point, I think this is a bullish structure with a bullish breakout, and I would expect price to head towards the target. If I put a fib from here to here, you can see price bounce at the 88.6 fib. So the main target for the moment is the minus 272 target at 116. That's the long-term target, of course, 500 pips away or so from here, but that is the main long-term target or intermediate target there for the dollar yen on this daily chart. Let me take off this fib though so it doesn't become too confusing. All right, so what I'm looking for, I think this is a consolidation that we might be seeing here, and we might see then continuation to R1. 112 is the intermediate target or the short-term target for the moment. Then we might see another correction, bull flag, and then a continuation upwards. That's what I'm expecting on the hourly chart. Hence, I think that this could be an interesting spot for a long. I don't think that price should break below the 50 fib and the pivot point, as I said. So stop losses below that would be relatively safe. Target would be at the first target, at least minus 272 target at 112. But as I said, it could just be a temporary pause. We might see a bull flag, and then price, I would expect, could even continue up to 112.50, 112.70, and eventually later on, as I said, it could even have the space to expand all the way to 116 when you look at the daily chart. All right, but that of course might take some time. Will not happen overnight, nor in the next hour. That will take some time. So at least I think so. Now there is some momentum here. Plus this is looking corrective. So that if it does break through this support trend line like this, then that could indicate a further correction down to the 38 or 50. But as I said, that should not necessarily be so strange. Price could then bounce off that level and head towards the upside after hitting the 50 fib and the pivot point. So if that happens, I think it's a good bouncing spot. If it doesn't bounce there, then I think my analysis is more or less invalidated, and I would have to reanalyze that. Or, of course, if it does break through resistance, if it breaks through this trend line and Keltner, then there could be an immediate breakthrough and follow through to 112. All right, more information about that Keltner indicator and the MetaTrader 4 Supreme Edition, admiralmarkets.com, where you'll find analytics, webinars, articles, and of course, the method to access the market as well. Check out YouTube for Admiral Markets videos and Facebook as well, and wish you all great trading. Cheers.